Mr Weir, it's a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship as always, and I would like to congratulate the honourable member from Cambridge on securing this debate. There have been many quotations used in support of legal aid from the Magna Carta forward, and I'd like to add another from George Washington, that the true administration of justice is the firmest pillar of good government. And I firmly believe that the current proposals to reform legal aid risk rocking the very foundations of that pillar. I submit that I'm not alone in this. Over 5,000 responses were received by the Ministry of Justice consultation, and there were a number of common concerns. The loss of most early intervention advice and access solely through a telephone gateway. I believe that this will disadvantage the most vulnerable, the disabled, the elderly, those on a low income with a prepaid mobile phone, often ringing about their debt issues, those with mental health issues, people whose first language is not English, and many others. Expansion of telephone advice is welcome, but it shouldn't be the sole means of contact. Which brings me to another issue. Where are the people who are found ineligible to be referred? The assertion is that advice and help are available from other sources, and that is frankly inaccurate. Many of the organisations identified in the Green Paper either do not provide or do not have the resources to provide specialist face-to-face advice. Government delivery agencies such as Job Centre Plus and independent tribunals do not and cannot ever provide independent advice. In the absence of alternative provision, I fully expect that many more social welfare and other legal problems will turn up at the MP's surgeries and casework services. Civil legal aid is being disproportionately cut, and particularly social welfare law, and this will disproportionately affect the not-for-profit providers who provide over 75% of the social welfare law advice under the contracts with the Legal Services Commission. I don't believe I exaggerate when I say that, taken in conjunction with the other reductions in funding from PCTs, local authorities and central government, the effect on this sector will be catastrophic. Over 50% of Citizens Advice Bureaus surveyed said that they do not expect to survive or will certainly be much reduced. Again, where will these people go who use the much-loved and much-trusted services? They'll either need further help from other statutory agencies as they move from coping with assistance to not coping, or they'll end up at MP's surgeries where we have neither the knowledge nor the resources to help everyone, or they'll become litigants in person, pursuing their cases without assistance or advice and causing huge backlogs in the courts and tribunal system. The cases are not simple, as has often been asserted by the Minister, and indeed do involve issues of liberty in some cases. I have previously mentioned a case from Wigan Citizens Advice Bureau where the client had been convicted of benefit fraud and with the assistance of a specialist advisor appealed and was able to reduce the amount owed from £27,000 to £236. Debt problems too are often complex, requiring advisors to understand time orders, unfair credit relationships, bailiffs and insolvency law. Indeed, removing help from debt cases will inevitably lead on more calls on the health service, and I would refer honourable members to a paper on debt-related suicide produced by Zacchaeus 2000. The case studies in that paper provide tragic examples of the effect that debt can have on individuals' state of mind. Taking away legal aid for people in debt will mean 110,051 fewer people will have access to that advice, apart from perhaps to the fee-paying debt management sector who look to make a profit out of misery, whilst often providing a poor quality and inappropriate service. These proposals will not save money in the long run. They will merely move the expenditure to other departments, and I urge the Minister to seriously consider many of the suggestions from the independent advice sector and the other consultation respondees on saving money, and not take social welfare law out of scope. There have been many suggestions, including reducing the bureaucracy, looking at the services provided, but as the Legal Action Group said, the personal, social and economic consequence of removing access to justice for so many people is unknown, and I would like to add, unforgivable.